Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. Shir sponsored Lilu Nishmas. I'm Yechezkel Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Kuf Zayin. We're going to be starting in the second line, or actually the first line on top. The end of the first line. Really, the daf, today's daf, the majority of the daf is going to discuss the story of David HaMelech. We'll try to learn the Pasuk Shah the Gemara. Be'ezras Hashem will be expanding a little bit more about it in the Shul Machshava on the daf, available on all daf for the ones who don't have WhatsApp, and the Torah anytime, and others. But we're going to try to see a little bit of touch to understand this very, very difficult sugya of David HaMelech. Look at the Gemara. A person should not bring himself to a nisayon, to a test. What happened? David Melech Yisrael brought himself to a nisayon and he was nichshel. What happened? Say, I don't understand why I said Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and David. Now here's something you have to understand. That what do you mean? Everybody, why don't you say look at Moshe? Why don't you say look at Aaron? I don't say look at Yeshua. Why is David Melech special? So here we have an Indian concept that the four zdodim, the four sides of the Merkava up there in Shamayim, is Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and David. That's what it is. Without going out to understand why. So if David Melech is part of the Merkava, his question is, I should be mentioned together with Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Says the Gemara, inu min suli v'adlo min tzli. Sorry. They had nisyonis. They had challenges. You didn't. Okay, try me out. That's what he said. Omar min sonaloch ve'avino milso be'adoch de'adidu lo yudatinu ve'ilo ono kamodino leftim asino with va'ervo. So I'll tell you something. I'm going to try it. I'll test you. But I'm going to do even more than that, says the Kodesh Baruch Hu to David Melech. Not only I'm going to test you, but I'm going to test you, but I'm going to make it a little easier for you. I'm going to let you know in advance you are going to be tested. And I'll tell you what you're going to be tested about. Ervo. What's it going to be? Miad vayi erev let erev vayokov David ma'mishkov v'goyim. So he got out of his bed. What does it mean, ma'mishkov? It was Leis Erev. It was about to be evening. He get up of his bed. Mashi was in bed during the day. What does it mean? What he did was like this. He was with one of his wives during the day. Something was forgot. What he forgot? Another man has an aver in his body. And if you make it hungry, he's satisfied. And if you feed him too much, he becomes hungry. He wants more and more. So David Melech felt, I'm going to be with my wives during the day, so I won't have no taivas. But it was the opposite. The more you're doing it, the more taiva you have. It says, Vaysalech agag Beis HaMelech. David Melech goes on the roof of Beis HaMelech. Vayayisha ruchetzes me'al agag. He sees a woman taking a shower. Vayisha teves ma'ir me'oit. She looked very beautiful. Who was that? Bathsheba. So what was going on exactly? The Bathsheba was taking a shower. She was washing her hair underneath a beehive. So the beehive was covering her, so nobody saw her. Also, Soton, Id Milek Ketziparto. So the Soton comes and is looking like a bird. Postek Begiro, David HaMelech shot an arrow to catch the bird. Pasko Lechalto, so they had opened up the beehive. So he sees Bathsheba naked in front of him. So David Melech goes and asks for the wife for this woman. Yeah, it's the wife of Uriah. He brings it to him and he sleeps with her. She wasn't needle. She goes back to her house. V'chanto libi, pakato lailo, tzaraftani, So Zamoisi Bal Yavorpi. So he says, he was tested and he failed. So he says, oh my ikus, mama novel bepume demanded suddenly. He should have his mama. His mama is a muzzle in front of my face for the one who hates me on myself. So why did I ask Hashem for a challenge? So it says, my dichtiv lam netzeach leDavid. Ba'ashem chasisi ech tormu lenafshi nudi harchem tzipor. That's a pasuk. Tash the Gemara my David nagrish bochu riboynu shaloylom mechoyli aloi soavoin imoichem in the sovereign shaloymu har shebachem tzipor nadatoy. This mountain was failed by a bird because the bird made him see the woman. Toshua my dichtiv lech levatcho levachal levatcho chatasi va'aro beinecho sisi leman titzdak bidvarecho tiske b'shavtecho. I did it for you, Akash Baruch. Very interesting line, it says. If I wanted to be overcoming my Yetzer, I would be able to overcome it. I didn't want people to think that a slave overcame his master, meaning that I won the argument. Interesting, right? Says the Gemara, my dichtiv kanil etzel nochoy machoyvi negdi tomit. Calls it a tzel, my rib. What does it mean? Elisha Basheva was supposed to be David's Melech from the beginning of creation. Here the first we ask, I think Ben Yoda brings it. What do you mean? We know our born because it's Yeshiva. You don't say it's not from time of creation. It's 40 days before it's Yeshiva. So we say David Melech was the Gilgul of Adam Arishon. He came to fix Adam Arishon. So Batsheva was the Gilgul of Chava. It's Adam and Chava coming back. He came in in a wrong way. I saw he ate it too early. Pago means when you have a fruit that was unripened. A little too early. What does it mean?
She was married.
She was married. In other words, she had to wait for her husband to die and then marry her. Not now. She did it too early. So
he didn't do anything.
Him. Here it says, this is the Achlo Boga. He ate her paga. And here comes a big aside. And this is the word. You see from here, this gives a little bit of a direction to understand what happened with David. David is a tzaddik Yisrael Olam. He's the father of Melech Mashiach. Everything. And he knew that his neshama was connected to her neshama. They were one and the same. You're supposed to be with her. It wasn't just a taiva that he saw a woman and he wanted to be with her. It was also it was the level of a neshama. He just did it too fast, too early. But he had the reasoning to do it. Something more dorsho my dichtiv tzalis samchu v'nesfu alay nichim v'lo yadati koru v'lo yidom. That's what it says in the pasuk. If they would take out my flesh, there will be no blood. Why? Because they made fun of him. They embarrassed him. His enemies embarrassed him. So when you embarrass somebody, it's as if his blood leaves his body. He would have no blood. When they deal with Aramis Bezdin, and they know the limud that a person who has a relation with Ish, he gets punished. They stop learning and they say, David, someone has a relationship with Ish, what's his death? Yeah, he does get chenek, but יש לו חלק לעולם הבא. Comes to Olam Haba. Someone who embarrasses his friend in public, so you're embarrassing, like that's what he tells us is Oiv. Is people that make fun of him. So in here we have that it says that David HaMelech, he was really, the Gemara says, I think it was in the Zohar, the Gemara says David HaMelech was not Roy Loi Sochet. But he only did it to give Pitzchut and Baal Tshuva. The Shaila, does that fit with our Gemara over here that sounds he was challenged? So first we discuss it. First we discuss about the challenge, and how did he do it, and how does he do a chet for other people. He did, even when he was sick, he always made sure to be with the 18 wives that he had, mekayim the 18 oinus, the 18 obligations to be with his wives. Shema yogati ben chasi esche b'chol laylo mitosi. Every night I was in my bed. V'dimosi arsi emse. In my crying and in my difficulty, I'm making my bed, so to speak, dirty. Being, in other words, taking care of what he needs to take care of. So he wanted to do Avodah Zarah. So comes Chushayarki, and he's doing Avelos. So what do you mean? How you can do Avodah Zarah? What? We was talking about a story when Avshalom was rebelling against David. So you want my son to kill me? So I'll do Avodah Zarah. People will say, oh, he deserved it. People won't, if not, people will say, what's going on here? How does David HaMelech have a son who's rebelling against him? Meaning, how Avshalom is the son of who? Avshalom is the son of, Rashi brings, the name is, he says, she was the daughter of the king of Shur, and came David HaMelech and captured her in the war, and he had a relationship with her, and Avshalom was born. He was a son of Yechezkel. What do you want from me? I didn't do anything wrong. You're allowed to marry Yechezkel. You don't know Smuchim, it says, right next to Yechezkel, it says, tell you that anybody who has a Yechezkel will have a Mitzvah Moir. Of the story, the mean biri. He's like a soicher kusi. He's a merchant, right? He goes around and he sells his merchandise. The sins that I did by mistake, my shaygig, what do you want me to do? People don't know shaygig. Even mazid, but if it was done hiddenly, clean me. Shvikilach, is it okay? Even the Zohar is a public. Shvikilach. Alim shalubi could the don't say azeitom to lishtai bi rabbanon. I don't want rabbanon to talk about my sins. Shvikilach. Azeisom according to the Goyim nikish beshrav shiklebu sichoini. I don't want them to write my bad deeds. I'm a loy efsha, so I can't do that. ומה יוד שעתלתי מסורי, אוי מבצווח כמה שונים, עד שבא יהושע וספתי לו. When HaKadosh took away the yud from the Sarai, because Sarai, the wife of Avraham Avinu, was called Sarai with the yud. He took away the yud, he put a hay instead. So Sarai complained, the yud complained. So what happened? HaKadosh took the yud and put it back on Yeshua. His name was Hoshea bin Nun, and he had the yud. So there was a complaint. I can't just remove a parsha from the Nevi. It says, please forgive me on the sin of Bathsheba. Can a person put fire in his clothing and it won't burn his clothing? A person can walk on coal and not get burned. Person who has a relationship with Ish won't be cleaned. He says, so what should I do? Please accept Yisur. I mean, you accept Yisur yourself. For 6 months he had Saras. And he didn't have Shechina with him. Sanhedrin did not deal with him. I'll be white from like snow, which is Saras. It's the kind of Shechina that they Yeshiva li sos and Yishecho v'ruach nedivot isbecheni. Give it back my ruach. I want Yerecho to come back to me. Saying what Shishachah the Shibino, I know 6 months that he was basically excommunicated. David was king for 40 years. How do you summarize this? It says the Gemara of Kuzayin and with base. Chevron Malach Sheva Shanim. Ubiyushalayim Malach Shloishim V'Shalosh Shanim. That's 40. So what's not true? You're missing 6 months in the count. The 6 months we're not counting. Not really these 6 months, but the 6 months we're not counting. Out of his 40 years and a half that he was a king, 6 months are not counted. Right? So now that I did 6 months, give me mechila. So it'll be machul. Please make a simon that I want my haters, the people that say that I'm doing that I was a sinner, to see it. I'm not going to bring a sign in your lifetime. We'll be at Tav Shlomo HaMelech. You wanted to bring an aron into Kodesh Kadoshim. The gates of Beis Hamikdash tied together. So Shlomo HaMelech says 24 mizmorim rinonos, and it is not answered. Because he said, Hashem should come in. Hashem is the Gibor. Another pasuk, so that one though gates of Beis Hamikdash to open for Melech HaKavod, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Don't unanswer your Mashiach. Right away it was answered. The faces of the haters of David turned to be black like the bottom of a pot. And there was an announcement to everybody Yisrael, Yanim Mechila. And this gives us a unbelievable yisoid that the Vilna Goyen Zok. The Gemara in Yuma says, David HaMelech, he came ulo shel tshuva. He held the yoke of tshuva. What does it mean? David HaMelech wasn't the one who was Hikim ulo shel tshuva, because he was the many people did tshuva before him. Other Rishon did tshuva. Reuben did tshuva. Yehuda did tshuva. Moshe did tshuva. Aaron did tshuva. How do you get to David HaMelech? He goes to tshuva. So the Vilna Goyen, David Niflad Lemoid, says everybody did tshuva, but their tshuva didn't bring them back to the original state. Otherwise, he did tshuva. He still died. He wasn't back to what he was before. Otherwise, he could have machet. Reuben did tshuva. He lost the b'chayra, right? Yehuda did tshuva. He was punished as well. Moshe Rabbeinu did tshuva. He didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. Aaron the Kohen didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. He did tshuva. It wasn't effective yet. The tshuva helped. It was a process. They had to go to Olam Haba. David HaMelech, in this world, the tshuva was accepted. There was a gilui ba'olam hazeh, not in his lifetime, but after he died, there was a gilui nimchaloi lo solve. That was a chiddush by David HaMelech. That's hikim ulo shel tshuva. He showed that tshuva could bring you back to your original state. That's the chiddush of David HaMelech. Says the Gemara. Okay, so that was the story of David HaMelech. Obviously, there's more to talk about over here. You know, this challenge that David HaMelech had with Bathsheba. But we see a little bit that Ochla Paga, she belonged to him. She was supposed to be with him, just he did it a little too early.
Yeah, that doesn't excuse it.
What?
It doesn't excuse it.
It's not an excuse. It just gives you a little bit more of understanding. As someone like this, he was Niksha, was Aveira G'dayla. He was punished for it. He had lost a kid for it. But to explain like how someone so great would be Niksha on something which seems to be so low. Says the Gemara. Now next person mentioned the Mishnah was Yechezkel. Who is Yechezkel? So this has happened in many of the Blatim in Sanhedrin. You have to learn Navi for this. You have to open the Navi and look inside. Read a few prokim in the Navi. Melochim Beis. Gehazi was the servant of Elisha. He helped Elisha. And the story goes, as we'll see in a moment, that came Naaman, who was the slave of Melech Ammon, as Gemara said before. And he had Saras. And the story goes that there was a woman who was captured from Am Yisrael, and from a slave, a maidservant, who was there servicing Melech Ammon. And she told them, Naaman has tzaras, there is a Navi in Israel who can save him. So they send him to the king. They told the king there's tzaras to be clean. Says to the kids, he goes to Elisha, and Elisha tells Naaman, if you want to clean yourself in tzaras, go to the Yarden and be tovel 7 times. So Naaman says, I have enough. He came from Damascus. They were in Damascus. So in Damascus, I have enough rivers. I don't need to go to Yarden. What kind of solution is this? So his slaves tell him, what are you going to try? You're anywhere here. You're already here in Eretz Yisrael. Go to the Jordan River. Who cares? He goes to Jordan 7 times. What happens? Sarah is clean, like it's completely clean. Went back to be like a child's flesh. He goes back to Elisha and says, I want to give you gifts. He gives him gifts. He gives him clothing and this. Elisha says, I'm not taking anything. I'm not willing to take anything. And then he leaves. So Gehazi sees that. It was a nice gift. He wanted that gift. It was the latest models. It was the latest trend in fashion. So he runs after the Naaman. It says, the Navi Elisha said, actually, I will take it for the 2 people that I need it. Give it to me. I'll take it. And he takes it. And then when Elisha hears what Naaman did, what Gehazi did, so then he curses him and punishes him. So let's see what happens over here. So we'll see part of it in more here. The Gemara now skips to the end because it says Gehazi was punished. He got Sarah, as we'll see soon, and he left. He went up to Damascus, and he left Am Yisrael. So Elisha is coming now to bring him back, to give him tshuva. Says the Gemara, Gehazi dichtiv Elisha Damascus. He went to Damascus. Why was he there? The story goes there that he came to there, and they said, "Oh, the Navi has to be here. Let's ask him to do some miracle for us." So he said, he says, come to Gehazi, come, do tshuva. Do tshuva. Says, you taught us. If I cause other people to sin, I won't be able to do tshuva. My Ovad, what did he do? He made Evan Sherbes is like a magnet. And he was able to, with a shame, he was able to put the egel of Yerovam floating in the air. It was part of how people took it very seriously because it was floating in the air. So the first try is he did it was magnet. It was natural. People didn't know how he did it. He put a name into her mouth and she talked. He did not allow the Rabbanan to come learn by Elisha. People wanted to learn by Elisha. He pushed them away. Shema, once he left, right after he left, it says that he left Elisha in the story. So right after, so in the case of it says, Elisha, we have a problem because there's no room in the Besmedrash. We need to find a better place to be. What happened till then? Why suddenly there's no room? Because until then, Gehazi didn't allow anybody to come in. Now, suddenly there's no room. The way to do it, the way a Rebbe has to teach his Talmud, he has to use his left hand and his right hand. The left hand represents Midas Adin, and the right hand represents the Chesed. What is it? I call it? It's the carrot and the stick. You use carrot and give him. You give a little in. You have to do both. Like Elisha, but not like Elisha, who pushed Gehazi completely away. He didn't give him any leeway. How do we know that? Because it says Gehazi, there's a gear over on the side that adds. I can't find it. Where's it? Because it says there's a missing your piece. We can start here. Like Yeshua Baruch who also pushed Yeshua B'shtei Yadayim. This is also because this is the Gemara that we had in Soita. It's very simple. So that's what Naaman said. Please, he told him not only take the clothing, also the kikarim. Because he took the kikarim of silver. Where are you coming from? So yeah, I didn't go anywhere. Is it the right time? I told you not to, says Elisha to Gehazi, to take the silver, to take clothes. v'zeisim v'kromim, and olives and kromim, v'tzoin ubokor, v'avodim v'shokis. Is it the right thing to go and take all this? So when we shoka kulai, he didn't take all that. The only thing he took is shaka kashem. How did he get to say that you have over here also all these other items? He was down shitting Shwena Shwatzim. Namun sat Sofa Melech Aramoyer, Mitzoyer. When Namun came, he was Mitzoyer. Amalei Ayi Reviso the Shtaboy Mar Yisrael told him this girl that was captured from Yisrael, Yazak be Elisha, must go to Elisha, he'll heal you. He also Amalei Zil Tvol Biyad. He says, go to the yard. Amalei Achulik Kanechak is being making fun of me. Amalei now David Biyadid, people that were within told him, my nafkalach mina. That's all we said before. What do you care? Seal nafsi. Also the told Biyado, he went to the yard. Feeds, he healed. Also, I see like Kolani Dinoki, let's so he brought him all the gifts, he won't take it. Kechozi to make a Elisha, Kechozi left Elisha, also Shaka by the Shaka, the Afkid, right? And so he went, we took whatever he did, and he came back. Kioso Chazi Elisha Tsaras Tavaparcha Aloy ratio. So he sees the Tsaras coming into him. Only Rashai Geis Titos Chashwin at Shwatzim. So he says, do you think that it is a time to get Chashwin at Shwatzim? That is a time to take the reward of the Shmon Shwatzim, meaning that you're going to come and take reward. The reward is supposed to come in Elam Haba, not now. You're not taking reward right now. So that's what he says. That's what he says 8 different things in the list of gifts he told 8 things. Not because he took 8 things. He said, are you taking the reward for the Shmon Shwatzim, for the learning that we did? You're not supposed to take it. That will be your reward instead of getting the reward in Elam Haba. The tzaras namon is back bechov zar chadol. Says the tzaras that Naaman took away will go to you and your kids forever. So he left him in Tzorek Hashelek. Now here we have a girsa in maybe another line here before we get to the next girsa. It says there was a hunger. Elisha said there'll be no more hunger. There was 4 people in the Mitzrayim, and then they saw that everybody around them died, and that was all the army that was around Yerushalayim, they ran away, and then they had food taken from the army, from the encampment of the army. So who are the people that were Mitzrayim? Gechozi and 3 kids were Mitzrayim. So here's the girsa. The girsa of the bottom is Yeshua ben Pracha. This is all the Gemara that we had in Saita. What's the story of Yeshua ben Pracha that he pushed his Talmud with 2 hands? We'll read it quickly. Yeshua ben Pracha went with his Talmud Yoshki. And they send the message from Yerushalayim to Alexandria. Please bring back my son. He came to this place where they ate. Made a lot of cover to them. So Yeshua ben said, wow, how beautiful is this Achsanya? What he meant to say is, how beautiful is her deeds? How beautiful is she acting, treating it to be chacham the right way? Rabbi Yeshua says, Yeshua, she's not so beautiful. Her eyes are a little bit truthers. He said, that's what you're doing? You look at the eyes of the woman? He took out 400 shayfris. They shamadit, they put it into cher. Also, came Yoshket to Yeshua ben Pracha, a couple accept me. But he didn't listen to him. One day he was reading Kriyashma. Also, then Yeshua ben said, no one will accept him. But he couldn't. He was saying Kriyashma. So he made with his hand, like, just wait a second. He felt he's kicking me out. Also, he put in a brick. He told him, come do tshuva. And that's what it is. Yisrael. So this is Yeshua. Not a question if this is the Yeshua because Yeshua ben Pracha was 200 years before Chorei Rabbis. It was 200 years before the Yashka that we know. So maybe there was 2 Yashkas, maybe not. The story discussion in the Mefarshim. But the point is that also he pushed him with 2 hands. He didn't give him a little leeway, and that caused the tzaros. A child and a woman to a small doicho to Yamin Mekaravis. That you should take it in stride. Don't be so tough of them. Because the Yetzirah, if you try to attack it, you don't give him any leeway, so he's going to attack you back. And a child needs a little bit of love, and a woman needs to have a little leeway. So you have to, don't have the stick in the carrot. Today they say, that today you do only Min Mekarvis, no small doicha. This generation you can't do small doicha. It says, you don't do small doicha, you don't push him with the left hand.
Use the right hand.
You don't push it up. Gimel Chaloim Chaloi Elisha. There's 3 sicknesses that Elisha had. Chad Shagir Dum Tinokas, he caused the bears to kill the Tinokas. We saw that. Chad Shadachol Gechod V'Shtadai, he pushed the Chozi away. The Chad Shred, but one day he eventually died. Shema of Elisha Cholo is Cholyo Asher Meis Boy. So you have the Choyle, they died for it. Ad Avram Lo Yisro Zikno. Until Avram Avinu, nobody got old. Called the Chazal Avram Hamay Yitzchok. Called Chazal Yitzchok Hamay Avram. Avram Yitzchok looked identical. They looked the same. There was nobody was look at it had a face of old age. Paul Avram Rachli the Lav Ezekiel, he wanted it should be different. If it started to become old age, the Avram was looking about Bayomim. Avram was the first one to be old. Ad Yaakov Lo Avachusha. Yaakov Avinu came, there was no weakness. Bo Rachli Avachusha. Shnema Avim Leisini Avicha Choyle. Meaning to tell people that someone's going to die, so he can get ready for his death. Ad Elisha Avayinish Techol Shemitbach. Until Elisha, there's nobody who was sick and got healed, meaning sick, deathbed. Elisha he got healed. He died the sick as he died from it. Mashal was sick as before, then he did not die from it, and that was the raya. Together with Yechezkel.
So Yechezkel was first that he got sick and get healed.
So who got sick first? Not sure. Could be. I don't know. And in the sequence of events, who was first? Not so clear. Mustafa, you're on our website, and tomorrow we'll continue.